there. Welcome, Mladen.
Jim.
Mladen is the Vice President of Engineering, responsible for Presidio's global RPA program. Mladen has immense experience in customer service as he was running engineering organizations for Presidio's contact center business unit working for large size customers. So Mladen, it's all yours.
Thank you, Jim. Before I kick this off, can you just confirm that you can see my screen?
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Awesome. Thank you very much. So it's glad to be here. And I have to admit that the reason for the presentation today is last time when I was here with Jose Perez, we kind of talked about his personal experience with chatbots and voice bots, and which was not pleasant. So we decided to kind of create a session for today to talk about a customer experience and how we really can create a positive customer experience with chat and voice bots, and also leverage the intelligent automation. So before we kick this off, let's just kind of look at a brief schedule. What we're going to do today, what's the agenda. So I'm going to give you the very high level overview of Presidio and what we do. We'll talk about what is in the customer experience and what are the numbers, what is that customer experience dashboard that we can really understand what our customers expect from us, from a brand itself, in order to qualify that interact as a good customer experience. We'll talk about bots and why did bots fail so far. And we will talk about how to design a bot, both a chat or voice bot, with the customer experience in mind, and in order to really avoid those mistakes and avoid that situation where we're going to say that bots are failing overall customer experience. As a disclaimer, we have around 30 minutes. I don't think that we're going to be able to give you the comprehensive review how to design a voice and chat bots, but we feel that we are going to be able to really give you the good guidance. And then with that guidance, you guys are going to be able to really research and implement and really understand how to move forward with the bots. We will talk about intelligent automation in the bots, and we will wrap up really to kind of explain what does make that customer experience positive, or that interaction with the brand. So let's kick this off again. Let's talk about briefly about the Presidio. We are one of the largest IT solutions provider in the United States and in the world. And as I like to see, if you live in the United States, there is a probably 99% of chance that you interacted with a brand and or a company that leverages our services or our expertise. From a customer experience perspective, or customer care and contact center, we have over 1,000 customers, and throughout our tenure of 20 years deploying contact centers, we deploy over 500,000 of agents. Interesting thing is that our first experience with at that time, we called that conversational self-service interactive voice responses. We had in the late 2014, where we kind of started deploying a conversational IVR for a big health insurance company. And over time, we delivered and developed the expertise that one of the most powerful cities in the world trusted us to upgrade and innovate on their customer experience platform or their natural language understanding IVR. So what is the customer experience? This is definition I'll kind of read. That customer experience is the sum of total customers' interaction with the brand, and that can be really how customer interacted with a person in a store, or your online shopping experience, or even your experience with your contact center and experience with your self-service IVR. And definitely customer experience is characterizes how they, meaning customers, are feeling about your brand. Do they trust you? Do they like you? Or do they feel satisfied giving you their business? And it's needless to say, but in today's very competitive environment, the customer experience is becoming more and more important, because in order to differentiate, especially in the industries that are becoming a commoditized, we need to have a strong customer experience, because that's going to increase overall brand loyalty and a customer loyalty. So let's look briefly the customer experience in the numbers. So based on several big researches that we were able to find and we are using on a daily basis, here are the results. Here's the dashboard. 75% of the customers are expecting that they are going to receive help within 5 minutes if they have a problem with your online tool. If the 25% of the customers that have a bad experience are going to deflect and probably look for some other brand or some other company to bring their business over there. And 73% of the customers stated that customer experience is more important than price when they are deciding to purchase product and or service. On the other hand, there is a couple of other expectations that our customers have today. First, customers want to interact with a brand on a channel, on a communication channel of their choice. So multi-channels is becoming a must, is becoming a standard. So you as a brand need to have a ability to communicate with your customers, not over the just traditional channels or over the channels that you feel are important. You need to understand what are the important channels for your clients, and you need to be able to serve the customer inquiry over that channel without forcing a client or customer to change that channel. The self-service adoption is increasing every day, and today what we are seeing that most customers wants to first try to resolve the issue or make a purchase or do something with the self-service applications, online tools, self-service IVR, self-help websites or something like that, before they opt out and go to a human or to a live agent. And at the end, the personalized customer experience is very important. So customers are expecting that you know why they are calling, that you already know who they are, and they already have that you already have at least a understanding how to help them without elongating that customer service call. So what are the bots, in fact? So chat and voice bots are computer programs that are leveraging natural language capabilities, and they can be configured or built to converse with human users. So when we look at a bot, we have an interface, which is the part that interface or interacts with the user. We have intelligence, which does give a means how bot is going to make a decision and serve the client. And the backend systems that are in fact supporting that intelligence and supporting that and giving that agent or bot or chat or voice bot ability to serve the client. The main characteristic of the bots, first, that they are providing easy personalization, because if we have a data about the customer, we can easily custom tailor those conversations for a specific user. They're very fast. They can be built to support any channel. They're available 24/7. And the cost of operating bot is significantly lower than the cost of having a human being available 24/7, being able to serve on every channel and provide personalized service. So that's the reason why when 2016 and 2015, when bot technology came about, everybody were, that's the ultimate tool. That's the ultimate tool that we need to use, and that's the solution that is going to help us really understand and address all those needs of our customers. And if we look a little bit deeper, and let's just look August to September of 2016, Kik platform had 20,000 bots that were exchanging 1.8 billion messages. And Facebook had a 30,000 bots and 40,000 developers that were leveraging Facebook bot environment and providing a service. So overall, everybody jumped on a bot, chatbot and voice bot bandwagon, and they said, yes, that's the solution, that's the technology that is going to help us deliver on a customer experience. But 2018, we kind of hit the wall and understood that our customers are still prefer human agents to a chatbot, and we still see that at that time that bots kind of fail overall to deliver on overall customer experience and customer success. So why that happened? In our opinion, there was three major reasons why we saw early on failure of the bots, bot voice and the chat bots as well. The number one is the technology readiness. And what I mean by technology readiness, if we look at the Gartner hype cycle of Curve 2018, we did see that even in 2018, the chatbot technology from the Curve perspective was in really early development stage, but there was a huge press and in the interest. The technology and limitation of that technology were not understood well, and expectation of the customers were high. As I said, everybody expected that those bots are going to be able to deliver on all those four major points. And we did have the best practice scenarios. And to be honest with you, early adopters were labyrinths that we all kind of learn and try to understand how to deploy. We had a bad experience. I have to admit that on a Presidio side, the project on our side was very successful, but we went through the significant amount of development and significant amount of trial and error in order to avoid impacting our customer and their clients. So today, if we look a little bit closer, where are chatbots? We can say that today, according to Gartner, and I completely agree with them, that chatbot technology is very well understood, and we have better understanding of those capabilities and use cases. We have those best practices, and if you look, chatbots are in a field of slope of enlightenment. So traditional services organizations are beginning to build a more mature practices, and we are moving forward with implementation with traditional customers. So definitely, if we compare where bot technology was 2016 and where technology is now, or is dead, where it's gonna be, we see that chatbots went through the significant development phase, and that today we can consider them as a prime time ready. Initially, expectations were inflated, and I mentioned that because everybody were expecting just putting a chatbot on your communication channel is going to solve your problems. And a big thing that we are even seeing today is that chatbot environments, voice bot environments are built in a silo. And what that means is that they don't have ability to escalate a conversation or escalate a communication contact from the artificial intelligence power bot to a human person, because there is and there will always be a limitation what technology can provide in order to address the customer issue. So what did we learn in the last probably 10 years of building the robots and building the chat and voice bots? There are, at least in our opinion, seven major areas where how we should start in order to develop and create and design a bot that is going to be able to deliver on the promise of good customer experience. The first of all, understand the customer channel. Then we have to talk about creating a system persona. We need to very well understand our customers and identify the technical capabilities of both the internal and external systems in order to address those needs that customers have. Designing a dialogue is the core of the entire design process, and definitely testing is very important in order to deliver on a very high customer satisfaction and customer experience. And in order to really get some hard data, we need to embed and provide statistics on efficiencies and or metrics that are going to really show how our bot, chat or voice bot is performing in the real world. So let's kind of look at each one of those design areas in a little bit more details. First, when we say understand the communication channel, what does it mean? First of all, we need to understand, and that's very important, that goes to that first thing, that our customers are requesting a service on a channel of their choice. It's very important to understand where that customer contact is coming from. Today, our customers have lots of different applications on their phones. They are using different social media or communication platforms. So it can be a chat, it can be SMS, it can be a call, it can be a social media platform, it can be your website. The reason why that's important, because all those communication channels and the need to cover those is going to determine what type of platform you are going to select in order to build your chat and voice bot environment. The piece of advice is we always need to strive to select a flexible enough platform that's not going to satisfy today's needs, but being able to be expanded to satisfy needs of the future as well. When we understand where the communication channel, what communication channels we need to use, we also need to custom tailor communication for the specific communication channel. The basic example, we cannot say, if we are having a chatbot, we don't want to send a message to the customer or to the user and say, please say your credit card number. We probably want to say, please type your credit card number or your account number or something like that. And definitely most important thing is, do not force channel switching. If you are not able to support specific communication channel end-to-end, don't pretend that you can. Meaning, oh, let me initiate the contact via SMS, but if customers try to complete the transaction through SMS, we are going to send him a text message, to complete this transaction, please call us on this number. The good example, and we are seeing that every day, is when you receive your appointment reminder from your dentist. Some platforms has limitations, so what's happening? They say, to confirm your appointment, press yes or yes, and if you say no, you respond with a no, they come with a message, please call us to reschedule your appointment. That's forcing a channel switching. That's going to cause a bad customer experience for sure. So let's look at the next point, and that's creating system persona. So what is the persona? That's your conversational partner. That's what you want your customer to experience when a human or your customer is interacting with your bot. Keep in mind that the goal of creating persona is not to trick the user into thinking that they are communicating with a human. You better be upfront and say, hey, my name is Alice, and I am automatic voice assistant, or I am automatic chat assistant for this brand. It's better to set expectation that there might be some limitation of the platform that you are using, than try to convince or try to trick the user that the user is talking to a human, and then when you cannot deliver on something, user is getting frustrated. Keep in mind that persona should be created with your brand and your customers in mind. So in choosing persona is, from my perspective and for our perspective, how many different customers we had, we usually work with the marketing departments in order to understand what type of users we have, or users of the bot, what is your image that you want to project through that specific chatbot. And based on that, we're going to select the voices, we're going to select the types of conversation, we're going to select the dialogue structure. Demographics of your users are also important in order to select to make a proper selections on all those attributes as well. So all of those things are important when we are creating and we start really building a chat or a voice bot. We need to understand our customers. So I mentioned demographics. Who are our users? What are their needs? And how and what tasks are they completing today? So if you are working or if you are planning to put a bot for a utility company, you need to understand what your users are calling your contact center about, and understand what are those services that would be easily moved from the human handling to a self-service. We need to understand the customer journeys from a goals perspective, what customer is trying to accomplish, and where they are coming from, their context, meaning, are they calling you because there is an outage, or they are calling you because of they cannot read your bill? Then another reason why you want to make sure that you're understanding your customer, we need to avoid that developer bias. You are not designing a bot for yourself. You're designing a bot for your customers, and they need to be happy and satisfied with your specific bot. From a technical capabilities, from a technical capabilities perspective, we need to make sure what systems are involved or going to be involved in order to provide a requested self-service. What are the limitations of those systems, and what are the integration points? What data we need to collect from the client, from the customer, and what data we need to collect from those internal systems or potentially external systems in order to complete the transaction. And I would say that that's the number one reason for a long lead time and long deployment time when we are looking at the complex voice and chatbot solutions, because sometimes we need to spend lots of time of preparing our backend systems to be able to interface with bot frameworks or chat or voice bot frameworks. That's the reason why we're going to today also touch on the intelligent automation tools and intelligent automation, because definitely intelligent automation platforms like UiPath definitely can help us much faster bridge that gap between the bot environment, chat and voice bot environment, which becomes an interface to communicate with the customer, and a backend systems and sources of records that we are going to use to complete a transaction. So let's look at a designing dialogue. And to be honest, this is the most difficult and most complex part of the of the bot design, it's designing the dialogue. Number one thing is you start with 80-20 rule and then move with the design for long tail. What that means? That means that 80% of your users, of your customers, are going to use 20% of the conversational paths. So why that's important? All those special cases are only going to be used roughly by 20% of the users. So bottom line, sit and understand what is the most likely path through the bot, conversational path through the bot that regular user is going to take. When you design that, you made a significant progress, and then move on and start agile development for all those edge cases. Keep in mind, you are never going to be able to predict all edge cases, and that's the reason why measuring and having that loop between measurement and development is very important, and testing as well, in order to catch down the road those alternative conversational paths that some of the users will take, and that's going to give your bot more and more ability to handle those specific cases. There is a very interesting theory how humans are informative, and that's probably something that we start learning, that we already learn talking to different voice assistants that we now have in our home. But usually you need to make sure that you design your dialogues that with kind of thought in mind that humans are going to be informative. Something along the lines, I want to book a travel from New York City to Jacksonville, and I want to leave at noon. So what that means is that I gave you several information, and you should design your dialogue to be able to collect from that sentence my starting point, my destination, and when I want to leave this, and when I want to leave my departure day, time or date or something like that. Make sure that you predict some error handling, and error handling should be done in a very subtle way, meaning you don't want to announce, oh, I was not able to collect this information, please try again. You just want to do something along the lines, when do you want to leave? If you were not able to capture that specific information. Use familiar phrases and words. Don't design your dialogue with some idea that your bot is going to talk a real robot or something from a science fiction movies. Ideally, your chatbot platform allows you to have for a same intent, different dialogues. I call that spice it up. Make sure that every conversation, but at least a couple of conversations can provide a different dialogue. So that's very important because it does give some kind of spirit or some good approach to the dialogue design. And testing the dialogue is very important. One of the great testing methodologies is the so-called Wizard of Oz, where you are going to design your dialogue by just writing the dialogue on a piece of paper, and then you will have a human who will ask questions, and on another hand, you're going to have another person that is going to just read a dialogue back to the human, just to make sure that there is that good understanding and good dialogue between you and the one on the other side. So definitely, again, in a 20 minutes, we definitely cannot spend. We can spend hours on talking how to design dialogue. But I'm hoping that through this couple of or those 7 rules that we were able to put there, that you guys kind of see what you guys should be thinking of or asking your implementation partner or preparing yourself for when you decide to deploy a chat or voice bot. And again, I just don't want to forget, but to mention again, test. That's very important, and put the ability to measure the performance of your bot, because that's the best way to do it. So we mentioned intelligent automation and the bots. That's something that became or it's a game changer in bringing bots to market faster. It definitely gives us ability to support new self-service scenario, like adding a document understanding capability to our chatbot, ability for a user or a customer to upload a document, and that we can easily grab that document. We can have a robot or in a backend to take that picture, analyze the picture, and provide some self-service based off of that picture. We can more efficiently bring machine learning algorithms into the fulfillment process. And if you remember what I said regarding the integration with the internal applications or back systems, definitely leveraging low code and the no code environment, adding it's increasing the speed to market or time to market via faster development. And all those things are very interconnected and provide us higher interoperability and a lower TCO. So bottom line is choosing a flexible and adequate chat or voice bot platform together with a RPA or intelligent automation platform that has interfaces towards different chatbot systems and different backend systems set you guys up for a success in order to really provide a very robust chat or voice bot with the capability of providing a lots of different information or lots of different self-service use cases to your customers. So let's wrap up with a kind of point on a positive customer experience. Today, we did touch on what are those rules or those guidelines, how to design a chat and voice bot, and what technologies to choose in order to ensure positive customer experience. But let's make sure that we all understand that if we want to really deliver on a customer experience, on a positive customer experience, we need to focus on the entire journey. The total customer experience with the journey is if you look from a journey perspective, that's what I meant, is in fact a multiplier of all experiences that customer is going to have with the really individual points, with the contact center agent, with the contact center itself, with your online tools, and with support. This kind of screenshot from McKinsey Digital Labs paper is something that I always like to show at the end of the presentation, because if you look your customer experience in a silo, from an agent perspective, you have 90% customer experience. From a contact center, 85%, web 85%, support 90%. So you would say that looking all those touch points individually, your customer experience should be good. No, but your end-to-end journey satisfaction is only 60%. So that's a major problem. We cannot and we should not look at the individual touch points. We should strive and focus towards individual touch points from an improvement perspective. But in order to assess a total satisfaction with the customer experience throughout entire life of the customer or through entire journey, we need to look at all those touch points and what is the way how we can improve each one of those touch points in the row. I want to thank you for your time today. If you guys need any more information, please do not hesitate to contact me. There is my email address. But definitely, it was a pleasure spending some time with you. And thank you very much one more time.
Fantastic presentation. Really informative. Certainly uncovering some of the mysteries of bots and chatbots, and The experience that I've had and many have had is maybe the technology was moving too fast. Maybe now it's caught up a bit. We do have a couple questions. The first question here that we received is, are there certain industries where bots do not make sense or could negatively impact the customer experience? And would it be better to remain with human agents?
Yes, definitely. And that's I cannot talk about different specific industries, but there are certain topics or certain customer service issues that cannot be handled by a self-service or bots. So that goes to my point that we made during the presentation. You need to understand your client. You need to understand the need. And if you see that the fulfillment of that specific need is going to be more complex, or it's not going to provide a good feedback to your customers, just don't do it. Put that to the human. And that's very important, Jim. What we are seeing that some of the industries are seeing increase of pressure to the contact center agents. Because what we are seeing now more and more, that those low-hanging fruits from a self-service perspective are going to the bots, voice and chat bots and self-service. And now contact center agents and humans are receiving more complex inquiries. So if your clients are going to pose specific complex inquiries, do not put them on a bot side, because bots are not able today to handle those complex inquiries.
Yeah, and just to follow up on that, you mentioned it before that there's no way to handle the handoff between a bot directly to a human. Do you see that will change over the next 2 or 3 years, or will that continue being a limitation?
Thank you, Jim, for asking that. That change, I think that unfortunately lots of designers and some of the platforms are not able to do that. Because usually what we are facing when we are talking to the clients, they're more focused on that ability of the bot to converse with the customer, how that AI, that natural language understanding, a conversational interface is built. That's a very important part. However, every bot environment needs to be built with the idea in mind that bot is not going to be able to handle the interaction, and it has to have ability to hand off the conversation to the contact center with the full context. So that's the reason why we usually like to choose the platform that has that integrability with the contact center. So when you receive a contact, when human receives the contact from the escalated contact from the customer, agent can look, oh, okay, they tried this, and this, bot told them that, and they couldn't do this. Okay, now I can continue, and now I can help them to solve the problem.
Yeah, kind of following up on that train of thought are people using software to analyze the most frequent paths or the most longest paths to rectification? Are they using process mining to help in that? Or what is the percentage of companies that are actually doing that? The time of the customer by using the bot. Is that done a lot?
Not high. It's not high percentage. The best in class from a customer experience are doing that religiously. They are measuring. They have a dedicated teams that are measuring the performance of their voice interaction and the chat interaction platforms on a daily basis. And based on that, they are providing feedback to their agile teams to improve their systems and their conversational interfaces. Unfortunately, what we are seeing, this is not a rule. It's exception for now. I would say I would be very optimistic. So 10 to 15% of the companies are doing that.
So is that then linked to the journey mapping? Yeah. Do you see one day when we'll be able to do intelligent process automation and do true journey mapping of both the customer service agent as well as the customer coming in their journey, and really map those out and see where the intersections are. Is there anybody who's doing that very well today that you could share with us?
So I will tell you from our perspective. So collecting the pieces of data that are going to map that journey, that we're going to leverage to map their journey, is not an issue anymore. We have different abilities. Even Twilio has the APIs to do that. They get that with the segment acquisition. But what we are seeing where intelligent automation like UiPath is doing great with the attended automation on the agent desktop, we are able to help contact center agent to in a real time get a full journey map and that information. Because don't forget, we do not have the contact center agent receive escalated conversation from the human, right? And he or she, they don't have enough time. But if we have attended automation that is going to go and grab those pieces of data, run through the specific AI or ML platform and spit out, here's what happened and here is what we need to fix. That's something that we are seeing, and we are seeing that all those components are available in UiPath platform.
So the customer profile of past experiences from the sales, like what James went through, you went through the 7 journey maps. If you went through those 7 different journey maps, do you see that to be available to the customer service agent? And then will that be the norm, and how many years will it take us where that will be the norm? Because that's still the customer expectation today, is that when the customer calls, they expect that you can do that, but we can't do it yet.
No.
So
the technology is getting there. You're right. Technology is getting there. It's those leaders are using it today. It's definitely 2 to 5 years where we're going to see that become a standard for sure.
All right, that's great. That was a fantastic presentation, very clear on where bots are. It's certainly something I was wondering about. So thanks to Jose for pushing you to do this presentation.
Yeah,
we've been using bots for over 20 years, as you know. They're not new, but to really tie it all together into what we call intelligent process automation is easier said than done, right?
Yeah, I agree.
So, any parting words before we sign off for today?
No, thank you very much for having me. It was a pleasure as always. So, thank you very much, you guys, and you guys have a good rest of your day.
Thanks, Mladen, and hope to catch up soon. Thanks so much.
Definitely. Thank you.
All right. So that wraps up today, and we look forward to tomorrow's presentations. We had really incredible presentations to get today from, just review a little bit, Brandon Garrett from Signavo and he provided us insights, quite a bit of insights on customer experience. And then we had Dr. Maples and Jennifer, and they gave us, I think, you might call it the touchy-feely, but it's what you really feel, and tools that you can use right away to train your folks to understand how different folks are feeling and take that into account. And then James, I have to say I enjoyed his presentation immensely. Shift happens, dating your customer. I think that's an important concept that we all need to look at is, treat our customer like we were on that first date, and you got to treat them that way every time. And just having that with them in the 7 customer journeys is very enlightening. And then we had Mladen, again, the bots was a great discussion on where we're at on that intelligent process automation journey, when we're going to get there, and the bots will eventually perform what we expected, maybe sooner than later. So tomorrow we'll kick it off again at 9 o'clock. I'll be here at 10 till with a little bit of introduction for today. We'll have presentations by Abby on gaining a new perspective of your processes by Richard Raven. And then we'll go into at 10 o'clock Eastern time, customers are the real stakeholders for customer excellence by another Jim, James Siner. So a lot of Jims here. And then 11 o'clock, emotional intelligence and empathy, the key to Uber immersive user experience by Jason Ruda from Taggen Health. And then we'll wrap up tomorrow with leveraging data and analytical tools to identify valuable business opportunities, drive decisions, and innovate products. And that comes from Stephen Yee on the other side of the world for me. In Singapore, Stephen Yee is a Deputy Executive Director of SNEF. So again, thank you so much for joining us today. We look forward to seeing and hearing from you tomorrow. Keep those questions flowing. Fantastic dialogue, fantastic questions, and have a great day.